Thank you for joining me.
Oops.
Sparking Change for Harmonious Living is a TV show that inspires action. It motivates you to start a journey towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. This show explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you practical advice to enhance your life. Tune in for a transformative adventure that ignites the change you seek.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I am your host, Giovanna Tartarone.
And I'm your co-host, Ahmed Bahman.
So welcome, everyone. Today's show, we're going to be talking about our subconscious beliefs. And truly, what I've learned through my transformation is that beliefs guide our life. And we're going to jump right into it, Ahmed, and we're going to talk about why is that the case? Because I do know that we have empowering beliefs and we have disempowering beliefs. And we do have a choice which ones we focus on and how it determines, the outcome. So let's get into what is a belief? What's a belief system?
Well,
We hear that all the time.
a belief system is basically it's one of the key components of your mindset, right? And how do you get your beliefs? Well, if according to our late mentor Bob Proctor, once a child is born, the subconscious is wide open. The conscious mind has not developed yet. So where do we get our understanding, what we believe to be true in our life? It's the accumulation of repeated information over a long period of time. Now, in a case of a child, at 7 years until the conscious mind gets developed, right? So that becomes an integral part,
Yes,
of the entire state of being of a person, where now that person is operating automatically based on whatever it is that they believe to be true.
absolutely. And we learn, there is scientific proof that shows up to, like you just said, 7 years old, where we really inherit or begin to have beliefs that guide us for the rest of our life, unless we understand that they could be disempowering, the ones there are. This is also where we learn the different languages, right? Before 7 years old, a child can learn. I believe Bob also mentioned that if you put a child in an environment of a multilingual family, he's going to learn those languages, because we all know that at that time we're like a sponge. We take in all this information.
Absolutely, but I want to shed a little bit of light. I want us to go back a little bit further. It's during the times of Napoleon Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So the good news is that regardless of whatever you believe, if it's not serving you, if it's not for a greater purpose, if you're feeling stuck at times because of a certain belief that you have that acts as a counterintuitive to whatever intention you want to
Correct.
be and do, right? You just have to understand that anything that you repeat to yourself gets rooted into the subconscious mind, right? So the thing is this: the repetition of correct information as an affirmation, including action
Mm-hmm.
taking, establishes faith that over time becomes a belief, right?
I
So
love that.
if we go back to Napoleon Hill, when Andrew Carnegie gave him a task to interview, the most powerful people within the United States, which he interviewed more than 500 of them over a span of 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Napoleon Hill was broke at that time, and Andrew Carnegie was probably the world's most richest person in
Yeah.
his time as well. So he told something to Napoleon Hill in order to change his belief about himself. Now, he said, Andrew Carnegie told him, he said, I want you to write this down. And he grabbed his pen and he told him, I want you to write, Andrew Carnegie, I'm not only going to equal your achievements in life,
Mhm.
but I'm going to challenge you at the post and pass you at the grandstand.
I love
But Napoleon Hill was like, he's looking at himself. He says,
that.
"No, I can't do that." And Andrew Carnegie told him. He said, "I want you to read this out loud to yourself while looking in the mirror straight to your eyes, and read this every day,
Yeah.
once or
Repetition.
twice a day." Now, in the beginning, as Bob Proctor stated, when Napoleon started to read that, he would read it with a slow tone of voice because he didn't have the courage to say such a thing because the
Mhm.
image in his mind is something else.
Right.
So Napoleon Hill stated that by the time 2 weeks have passed, he thought of that it is possible that he can do it. And by the end of the 30 days, he knew that he was going to do it. Now, what happened in that span of a month? There is something called the 30-day principle, which
Mhm.
allows the reconnection of the neurons to take place based
Correct.
on what you're exposing yourself to mentally, emotionally, and within your environment, whatever you choose to be around. So he maintained that discipline of instructions of whatever Andrew Carnegie conveyed to him.
Mhm.
And within 30 days, he had reprogrammed what he believed to be true about himself into seeing himself surpass Andrew Carnegie. And if you look at today, he has made at least more than 1 million millionaires from a single book. It's
No,
probably one of the highest selling books out there.
it absolutely is. It absolutely is because this stuff does work, right? If you follow the formulas and you follow the principles, it definitely does work. And what I love about his work is that you truly do um, examine those beliefs that are holding you back, because
Absolutely.
we can achieve anything that we want to. What is holding us back is the belief that we don't have, that we think we can't do it because of what maybe somebody said, because of the environment, because of maybe you're looking at the grades, or maybe you're looking at what happened in the past. And here's what I know: we need to stop looking at the past, that
Absolutely. And
creating new beliefs that
you know, eh,
match up with what we want, right?
absolutely. And to take the story a little further, Bob Proctor himself, Ray Stanford,
Mm.
when he presented to him the book Think and Grow Rich, he said he started reading it, and then he said that it didn't take very long that he started to go from $4,000 a year. He owed $6,000 at a time. He said that
Yep.
if I had to save every single penny for a year and a half without spending it, then he could break even. He said people were banging on his door asking him where the money was, and he goes, "If I knew where the money was, I would have given you." But but the thing with him was, he said it didn't take long that I started earning $175,000 a year. And then he said the following year he took it to over 1 million. Now he said, here I was, and I've always heard that I had to be smart in order to be rich. And here I wasn't. And they said, people said that, that you got to be, uh, you know, a person who has graduated from school and went to college, has a degree in order
Yeah.
to be rich. And here again, he wasn't, and he's seen a lot of smart people broke. He's seen people with high-end degrees, with different certificates, who are like geniuses, yet they were broke. Like, what was the missing link? He just wanted to know, why did his life change? And he went on a search that took a span of almost 9 years to figure that out, until one day he came across a gentleman. And this gentleman said, our belief is based upon our evaluation of a situation or a thing,
That perception
and
of it.
our perception of it. And if we reevaluate a situation or a thing, our belief about that situation or thing will change. And it suddenly clicked for him. And he was wondering why, over all of these years,
Hmm.
he was giving a lot of individuals the same book, but their life would not change. The only difference is that Bob Proctor applied the principles that was mentioned in every chapter within Think and Grow Rich. As Napoleon said, he said, there is a secret in this book, and if you
That's
can
right.
find it, you can have whatever you want. And it's in every chapter. But the lack of awareness of the individuals who are uninitiated
Hmm.
into this kind of material keeps them unaware of the potential to change their belief systems in order to change their life.
And you know what's funny is that people can change their beliefs about things that they know they can achieve. For example, me going from corporate America in the accounting and finance arena and saying, I'm decided I'm going to be a teacher. And I believed I was going to be a teacher because I knew there was a map to follow, right? And if I followed that map, I could become a teacher. But I needed to believe in me first, in myself, in order to create that belief. And I think someone said, if you didn't create the belief, look at the belief, and in those letters, there's the word lie, right? So
Yeah,
if you didn't create the belief, then it's a lie. Who says you can't do something? Don't look on the outside. If it's not your belief, then it's a lie. You can create
uh,
the beliefs that empower you, right?
absolutely. You just touched on a very a nice part. Napoleon Hill said, if you repeat a lie to yourself for a long enough time, you'll end up believing it. Now, you may not consciously be aware that you're believing it, but subconsciously you've accepted the idea. And that this is where the danger lies, is when you don't guard your thoughts to only accept healthy ones, the kind of thoughts that would raise you, that would empower you instead of disempowering you, because the vibration of the body follows the belief. The belief is the conditioning in the subconscious mind. Now, you want your conditions to change the conditioning, change the belief. Then things will change. The world is not loyal to you and what you think. The world is loyal to the conditioning of whatever it is that you've planted in your subconscious mind.
And I
With
love
what?
that because I'm sorry, I just want to say you went and started with, up to 7 years old. We are inheriting a lot of beliefs from our environments. So if you heard your parents, arguing about money all the time, you're going to have a belief that money is evil, money is not good. And if that's the belief, or money's hard to make, and truthfully, we don't make money, we earn money, but that's the belief that we have, that it's hard to earn money, and all of that guides our future. So you look at those beliefs that are kind of running subconsciously, and you're not going to take risk. You're going
Yeah,
to
and
think of lack, right? Because of those experiences.
it's the pattern of the rhythm that you have adopted since childhood.
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you're consciously unaware of the methods of application that can help you change it, this is where people get stuck. You know, what we are teaching here is something profound, something so valuable that if you
Yes.
really do take the time to just put these simple steps into practice, it
Yeah.
wouldn't take long. Gradually, you're going to start feeling better. You're going to feel healthier. Your outlook on life is going to change. And it's not about having hope or wish anymore. You know you can do, be whatever you choose to. But it starts with you, you know, and with belief as well. One element, actually two elements. One is self-discipline, and then two, you need to give it that element of care. I think we covered this in the last week when we said you
Nurturing.
got to
Mhm.
nurture.
Yes. 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 Absolutely. Because, no matter where, whatever your past is, you can create a new beginning, a new story. The B in the word rainbow for belief is there because in order for us to change, we must change those beliefs that keep us stuck, basically. And creating with repetition, creating it with affirmations and autosuggestion. But I also introduce, a modality called psyche, which again, it's a simple method of changing those beliefs that as long as you take the first step in believing to make that belief begin to nurture that belief, you take that first step in nurturing the belief, then you can create a new you, a new story that will lead you to whatever it is that you want.
That's um, it is a very powerful tool. What you've mentioned, as well as the repetition of affirmation. Maybe a longer. It takes a longer time to do so. So if you understand how the mind works, and you work diligently, and you keep your thinking patterns in order,
Oh yeah.
like it's like, how can you know if someone's mind is in order or not? For example, you enter someone's car, right? If you see like there's a lot of items scattered everywhere, you know what's going on in the mind, right? But
Yeah.
if you go and you check a person, and you've always seen that this person is tidy no matter where they go, then you know that they think in an orderly manner.
Actually, what's funny that you mentioned that? I just thought of I heard someone say, in the army, the navy, they teach you to make your bed first thing in the morning, right? Because it's a system. You're beginning your day with organization in the mind. So the people who walk out of their house without making their bed, like you just said, their mind is just scattered. But the people who make the bed first thing that they get up in the morning, they actually have some order. You're absolutely right about that. And then they can take the steps to go on, right? The day without chaos in the mind.
Yes, because as it was Judge Thomas Choward when he said that order is heaven's first law. Same thing. If you want to change your belief, you have to put things in order. You have to follow certain steps. You have to follow the formulas.
So I like to give a tip that I did once. Um, List all the things that you don't believe are true about you, that you think are true and that you don't like and you want to change. Make a list, the opposite of what you really want. And visually, I remember Bob doing this. Go burn in the sink. Be careful. Don't burn your house down, but go in the sink and burn the disbeliefs and work on the beliefs that empower you. Like visually see that If you have if you don't believe that you can go on stage and speak, empower yourself. Empower yourself, because the only one that's stopping you is you. The beliefs are coming from within, right? So the work has to be done on a very on an authentic way. Like, you really have to go in and hone in on your own. Get quiet and spiritually meditate on those beliefs that you want to incorporate, right? And change.
As I think it was Sandy Gallagher, she had a quote. She said, "It's not who we are that holds us back. It's who we think we're not."
I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. And if we take a look at some of it, this book, and I share this book because this was an eye opener for me. This is called The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton, and he's an epigenetic doctor. And when he studied the genes, he was saying that it's above the gene. Epi means above the gene, that gets conditioned, that will manifest into the body, from the body. So if we want to change something, it can be changed because we're changing the conditioning of the gene.
It's what they say is believe, and the belief will create the fact. Remember, facts can always change based upon our evaluation of something. How many scientific discoveries have we seen that we chose to believe it, but
Yeah.
due to the advancement of technologies, we realized we were wrong, so our viewpoint of it changed. Therefore, we established a new belief about the same situation. It happened many, many times.
The world
I
is
have
flat, or the world is round, right?
I have a poem that I've read a while back, and I just want you to know something, is that don't fall into the trap to believe that you cannot do something. And this is where this poem comes in, because the title of this poem is You Can. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win but you think you can't, it's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out in the world we find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but soon or late, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. And I want you to think that you are a winner. You can win. If you say you are, then you are.
That's so beautiful, so beautiful. And what does Henry Ford say? If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right.
You're right.
So, with that being said, I want to just tell the audience, you can achieve anything you want. You must do the work to create those new beliefs.
It's the same thing.
Go ahead.
It's the same way that you always talk yourself out of doing something. If you shift your perception and you look at it from a different angle to accept it as the truth, then you're going to act on it.
There's that little word, 2-letter word, that's if. What if it was true that you can achieve that goal you want? What if it's true that you can excel in whatever you want to do? Look on
It's
the
like
inside, not the outside.
Use the law of assumption and try to figure out how you can. Use the law of assumption from the desire fulfilled. When you use the law of assumption into the possibilities, you'll start to attract opportunities. This didn't just
Exactly.
happen with me.
I love that, because when you start believing without seeing it first, you're basically saying, okay, I'm ready to receive whatever I need to make this come true. You must believe it first. People living with, oh, I believe it when I see it. Well, the universal law, God, says, no, you must believe it first, then I will grant it to you. And that is, to me, a fact. So, final words, Ahmed?
Believing is actually seeing. Seeing is not believing, because all that you see around you is a reflection of whatever it is that you think and believe to be true.
So, if you change your beliefs, you can change your life. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today on Spark and Change for Harmonious Living. We will see you next week. And for those who are celebrating Good Friday, happy Good Friday and happy Easter on Sunday.
Happy Easter, everyone. See you next week.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living.